Uh, Even though right now, keep the draft open. Just lead with the silencer. Great pick versus Rubik. We've seen it come out a few times. Hasn't been the most popular hero, but is definitely one of those options that just kind of kills a lot of the heroes you would want to play, especially for Ravens themselves. Dissuades heroes like the Snapfire or the Dawnbreaker, or enables you to pick heroes like the Snapfire or Dawnbreaker. So just works well with the team. One of Carr's favorites, and great pick against Rubik.
Ooh.
That's a Dragon Knight. Okay.
Hmm.
Dead hero, but resurrected a little bit. Kind of dead for a reason, but a reason I'm not sure why they picked it for in the first place. Because we don't know what the carry is necessarily. Just looking at it straight up, could just be the Nature's Prophet one, which I feel like DK would be able to handle, but it's just a DK being able to handle it is a very different style. And I almost want Dreamers to just pick a Scarth Mage with it or something. Just now you need damage. Now you need instant burst. You need somebody to kill with the Dragon Knight because you've got this great blink stun, but a weird one for sure.
Yeah. We'll see exactly what they look to do with it. It just feels kind of funky at this point, and it might be part of the reason why they are putting a little bit of extra thought into the next pick. Normally with the back-to-backs here, we do kind of see it come in pretty rapid succession, and that obviously is not the case. So, well, if this is sort of, okay, we picked DK, now what do we do with it? That's a weird position to be in, because you could have just, I don't know, not picked a Dragon Knight, and then you wouldn't really be in this scenario, but gotta have some faith in Dreamers, see what they plan. That's not really a aha kind of moment, but the Jakiro is at least going to be stable for them.
Yeah, it works. Great pick versus Nature's Prophet. Support 2 is still very vulnerable to the global silence, but you can do maybe a little bit more with the Jakiro, and doubles down on their wave clear a little bit. So now the Rubik and the Jakiro are great at holding towers, holding high grounds with the nature, the Treant already taken out. Makes sense to pick up another hero like this, even though we've seen a lot of Jakiro today. More than any other day of the tournament, I think, so far. A little bit of a resurgence coming from him. And Ravens just pick Pango. Love it. Will probably be that Pango versus Batrider lane, which we will have to keep an incredibly close eye to. But another matchup that we've talked about pretty much the entire Pro Series, where heroes and mid laners and players kind of know how to play versus Batrider now. It's just a matter of how well they ride that line.
Yeah. Pangolier could get punished, but could just as easily swing that matchup his way and really put some pain on the Batrider. But with that Pangolier getting picked up, we do slot some of the puzzle pieces with the rest of this lineup. This should be Demon on a position 4 Tiny. The Nature's Prophet's still kind of up in the air, though, and Dreamers are leaning more towards it being Benj as his hero than Parker. Just based purely on style ET, I would probably support that decision.
Yeah, Parker definitely looks more at the, as they already been it out, but your TBs, your Lunas, your TAs, your hard farmers, your big farmers. And we'll have to see if that's what they decide to swing back around for. Could also see them doubling down a little bit here, because Benjaz and his Beastmaster is still in the pool. So if they end up seeing a weak enough carry, they could just put Parker on the NP. They pick up Benjaz Beastmaster, and then they never look back, and then they just roll every single objective. And they ban out Sven. That's not a ban that we're used to seeing here, and that is leaning more into that physical damage carry that wouldn't want to play versus Warcry. But typically, that is to protect the TA, and they pick Pitlord on Dreamers, okay? So they switch things up even more. So kind of some questions here, Dreamers, with what we're doing with our core situation, but I guess we'll see on that one.
I'll say one thing at least. Between Dragon Knight and Underlord, you've got yourself a pretty durable front line to work with, but now where's the damage going to come from? Because I don't really know what DK or Underlord look like in the carry position. We did get to see an Underlord mid recently, and honestly, the build didn't really seem to change much. It was just a difference in timing because you were mid instead of off lane, so very strange out from the Dreamer's side. But for Ravens, well, how risky do you want to be now? Okay.
Not at all. No.
That's gross.
They,
That's very mean.
they get Viper Tiny, one of the most obnoxious lanes in the world. and Adrian ends up on that carry
Oh.
DK. So really not a not a fun laning situation. Mid is still going to be a little bit of a problem with the Panga versus Batrider, and we'll have to pay close attention, see what Jamari is able to do there. But they get the traditional carry, and sure, Pit Lord versus Nature's Prophet is the lane in which Drakeel should be able to hold his own. Eventually, he starts creep cutting, gets a Vanguard, gets really whatever item, could be a Mech Rush as well, and then just starts doing whatever he wants. But Ravens at the end of the day are just more traditional. They've got more up-to-date heroes. They've really gambled here on the Adrian Dragon Knight. And it's a hero that Adrian has played before. I've seen him do this, but that was back when there was still all the hype about the Ags build and being the Black Dragon and getting an early Maelstrom and just getting carried by that. Is that going to be enough here? I don't know. I also kind of feel like they have to dodge out the lane, but I don't know. I feel like Viper's a good enough hero that playing versus Dragon Knight, where you're going to get broken, you're going to have to deal with that. It's going to be problematic, and it's going to be a lot of weight that the Jakiro is going to have to carry in that lane. Jakiro is a great laning hero, but is it enough to prop up Dragon Knight? I don't know.
Yeah, it's that's the thing though, right? You circle back on that phrase, I don't know. We're not saying that it won't work. We're literally saying that we're not really sure because DK1 doesn't really happen anymore. So who knows? Maybe Adrian's been holding this in his back pocket for all this time and it's going to be brilliant, but definitely a question mark. I will say one thing though. Taking a look at the items for this man, he's very shiny. Right? He's got the shield. In the loading screen, at least, the lance was glowing too. It's not glowing now, which is disappointing, but maybe that's just because it's paused. The shininess of your armor has zero bearing on how the lane plays out, ET, but it's neat.
No, it is neat. Also, doesn't have a sword. It's got this like kind of lance thing going on. You know,
Yeah.
it's a pretty nifty set. But I don't know. And looking at Mr. Adrian's past games, he's only done this 3 other times. He's got a positive win rate, but you know, positive win rates with only 3 games isn't the biggest sample size. So I don't know if we can call it confirmed or not. But it does slide into Adrian's playstyle, I think, pretty nicely. He likes to play the Pudge. He likes to play the Dawnbreaker carry. This is just another strength carry that's a little bit different that I think he's trying to abuse in this situation. But it is odd that they decide to get weird with it here. But we'll see. And we'll have to see how he deals with versus the Viper. Because if you can survive through Benjaz's early barrage, bleed through his mana, and then eventually you're gonna be a-okay. You also have a Batrider, so when it comes to ganking the Viper, that is easy. Benjaz is not sprinting away from you. If you get him with 3 or 4 stacks of napalm, even less, he will probably go down. And Benjaz is going to be playing aggressive, so you can expect him to be far up in the lane. So it's a pretty easy kill for Jamari. I just wonder about all the downtime, though, that's going to be in this game. And you're playing versus Nature's Prophet. You're going to have to deal with that huge carry eventually. And will DK be enough in that situation? Ooh, not if Parker gets the Silver Edge, but we'll have to see.
Mm-hmm. That is going to be the thing that your DK really doesn't really want to play out. And honestly, multiple heroes, right? That a Silver Edge kind of hurts. Drakeel will not appreciate that either, so we'll see when it comes along in the build, but it feels like something that does have to come out. In the meantime, though, Ravens, bit of a wraparound. Got all the way across the river. Jamari, does he walk into this trap? Okay, never mind. There is no trap. They get bored of waiting, and they just kind of give up on it.
Yeah. Start moving across. Jamari says, hello. Don't know if he, either team saw the wards placed, so for once, maybe we don't see the immediate D ward, but split of the bounty runes a little bit, and okay. Demon pushes forward, but it is still just that 2-2 split.
Whole lot of movement, but not too much coming out of it, and we will settle into the lanes, see if Dreamers are gonna give maybe one shot at a first blood attempt here. They're bringing the Rubik over. Do they have Dragon Tail? No, because Adrian hasn't skilled up anything. So if someone steps forward, maybe he skills it, maybe they try for it, but they don't have follow-up lockdown. They've got Fade Bolt, they've got Dual Breath, so it feels like it's going to be tough for them to actually pick something up here, but Demon is trying to bite the bullet here, act as the Secret Service agent for his teammate, but they're not going in just yet, so Demon decides, okay, well, let's break up the party. There's your Dragon Tail, but now can they still get the kill? Demon's making a break for the tree line. He's got a wand, so he's going to be able to heal up. Adrian's lost about 3/4 of his health, so he can't be involved anymore. And this is getting real dicey. Demon is dropping. The Fairy Fire, though, comes in. He will still die, however. And now Benja's could be in trouble as well, because Adrian waited for the Dragon Tail to come back up again. They get the stun. And the three-man play, delayed as it was, ET, does work out perfectly.
Yeah, and ZXCA, oh, he's trying, but nah. Gives a lot of XP over to Demon, just couldn't die fast enough. But they got what they wanted, which was really Benja's using his entire mana pool. I don't think he minds going down just because he used everything. He was tapped. He had the Mango to try and keep the kill going there onto the Rubik, but even that fails. But now the lanes subside. They protect their small camp as well with all that action going on, so 555 gets a half pull off, but the Rubik eventually ends up back bottom.
They could afford to leave Drakeel there for a wave or two by himself, but long term, he does need some help in the early stages. But hey, 2 kills. It all goes according to, well, maybe not exactly according to plan. I think they wanted to make that move a little earlier, but the patience pays off. They still find it. The ZXCA is just really trading damage out with the Silencer here, but this is a fight it feels like the Silencer slowly but surely always wins, right? The Curse is just too easy to hit, too annoying for everyone to deal with.
No, it's very obnoxious. Gets a Courier Snipe as well, but ZXCA has done a pretty fine job of trading so far and helping Drakeel out every once in a while with those ranged creeps, as Rubik does. Just the support tax, but this lane should be pretty relaxed. Maybe once Drakeel gets a few more levels, we see them getting more damage that actually lands onto Parker. But in the meantime, it's just a farm fest.
Nothing too crazy there. Meanwhile, mid is the lane that we are going to be checking in on it pretty frequently here. We sort of outlined it in the draft itself. Both of these heroes really do have the potential to catch someone by surprise here. So much so that not entirely sure which one of them is actually going to make the move, but with both PP and Jamari kind of being a little bit known for the aggression in the middle lanes here too, it should be interesting to watch.
No, it is. And he's being the bully. He's being very annoying. He's already forced PP to miss a good few amount of creeps, but this lane could be worse, and PP's just doing a good job making the buy-to-buy work.
Said before that some of the lanes could get a little boring, but they are still poking and prodding at each other. Damage traded bot, but up top is where the actual kill goes down. Demon gets in there with the Avalanche. Doesn't have the toss just yet, as he wasn't level 3 at the time, but the Avo alone is enough to get Benjaz directly into position, and well, ET, the Dragon Knight may be a bit of an unorthodox pick, but it does share one thing in common with pretty much every other carry, in that he can do very little for his support if he actually gets caught out.
Yeah, no. And the other problem is 555 is no longer able to pull right now. The camp is closed. Sentry's in there. With the wave so far up, all Adrian can really do is just block. And Benjaz is getting scarier and scarier by the level. And another toss back. Looks like they want it. They'll have it. It's a hard kill, but 555 might just go down here. They might get the trade onto Benjaz, though, which is pretty nice, but he will just respawn and bring back more mana. But if they lose that on 555, this is actually a disaster for Ravens.
Yeah,
Demon, it looks like they will and then lose Demon.
He's going to try for the toss. Not enough damage at level 1. Yeah, that's rough. I mean, even if it had been the trade-off, we still would have been kind of, well, maybe a little disappointed in Ravens for that exchange, but it's not even a trade at all. It's just losing Benjaz for free, and he does come back to the lane. He's got full mana. He's right back to bullying Adrian, but Adrian got himself some nice gold, but Parker says enough of this. Let's actually get this kill. TP's in, and Adrian has no way out.
That's pretty funny. And well-timed from Parker, and really, he might just decide to go right back bottom, and yeah, that's exactly what he does. But he leaves his trees top, the cart just spawns, he's going to put some pressure onto the DK, it's going to force 555 to either get more mana or die pretty quickly here, because the Jakiro is out of gas top, so isn't the best defender right now.
And Demon going for the courier snipe. He is able to pick it up. And now those creeps will start to hit up on the tower. In the meantime, some supports rotating their way towards mid, looking to protect the rune. ZXA is going to be able to grab the illusion and, yeah, send him out, get some vision, maybe try and stack up a camp or something with him. But we already talked about illusion rune always being kind of a rune that's not even great for the mid laners themselves in the hands of a support. It's just meh. Just make sure your opponents don't have it, really.
Yeah, just working out. A bit of a rotation from ZXC in mid, but not really a play that's going to end up coming through. And I think PP has done the best job so far of surviving the Batrider kind of difficult lanes. He's done a great job for himself. He can really gank anywhere right now. Hasn't fallen behind. He has traded the mid lane to let Jamari stack up and farm a little bit with Rubik, letting ZXA get some XP, but PP's owning right now.
Angelier's off to a good start. Full Orb of Corrosion. Good progress towards the early Arcane Boots, so he's liking it so far as Parker TP's top again. And it's pretty much in the same spot even as Adrian gets himself caught. Now 555's in some trouble. Does he complete his TP? Yes, he does. Burn does not tick him out, but the Jakiro surviving that is not what you were looking for. Adrian gets caught a second time, and now Parker will stay in the lane this time to make sure that they get the damage onto the Tier 1 tower.
Yeah, really smart plays, just knowing that the DK is the easy target, as funny as that sounds, but you only have 1 point up in the Dragon's Blood. It's all magic damage coming from the Wrath of Nature, and it just works. Just feels like Adrian is not getting what he needs out of this lane, even though Jamari even has walked over here. Jamari without a rune, though. And now Benjaz, he's kind of baiting his teammate right now. With Drakeel coming over, well, this looks like a pretty low-cost kill for them. Drakeel even is already porting back down towards bottom, but at least they get a trade somewhere.
Able to find a kill. The concern, though, is still there for the DK, because I guess he's tanky enough that he could rotate into the jungle right now if he wanted to, but then you're really just kind of looking at Breathe Fire farming, which is doable, but maybe not the most efficient play in the world. So the loss of that Tier 1 tower does put them in a position where they need to maybe make some tough choices earlier than they expected.
Yeah, no rotation from PP yet. I feel like we could see him coming top, even though it's now Benjaz in the bottom lane, putting pressure onto Drakeel, but is there going to be a TP coming in here? Is he just got this? I don't know, looks like he has it, and maybe some revenge here from Jamari. Ben just took a good few tower shots. That's a free kill for the bat, which also affords him his travels, but I don't think Ravens want this fight.
Well, Kara is going to die. They did manage to get a play there onto ZXCA, but it's going to cost him pretty heavily. Demon's getting run down, finished off by Jamari, and that whole thing, very awkward. You sort of just consigned yourself to losing Benjaz at the start there, because as you said, he takes too many tower shots, but the supports don't bail out until it's way too late, and some avoidable deaths coming into play there for Ravens for sure.
And now look bottom. Benjo's already TP'd back down here. He doesn't want to give up his tower, and Adrian gotta be careful here, but look at Benjaz. It's so difficult to approach, and the supports are in, but PP's the one who needs to be here first, and without the roll connecting, there's just no grab. There's no disruptor. There's no pullback. Everybody just walks away.
Yeah, and okay, you know, normally you'd think that's not a huge deal, right? Sure, you didn't get the fight, but you didn't lose anything either. Well, all three of those heroes TP'd into that lane on the Ravens side. PP's the only one who walked, so now you're kind of stuck on that half of the map for a little bit, and Dreamers should know that. They're going to look to punish it. They spot out Kara in the river. ZXA was not in position for telekinesis, so no follow-up there, and Ravens get a little fortunate.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's a little bit of a dance that they're doing here. But during all this, Parker's farming. He's just playing Nature's Prophet. He is really undisturbed on his side of the map. He's got his Midas already. He's farming very quickly. And this is a pretty smart smoke from Ravens. They're looking for Jamari. A Jamari who's just farming. Kind of difficult here to get more than one hit, but looking in the trees now, and Jamari, yep. Nice leap in forward from the Tumberstoy. That's a nice kill.
Everybody involved, even Parker, made his way over there to grab an assist, so solid work. But now Benjaz might need a little bit of backup. They know there's 4 heroes top, so this Viper has to be alone. They're going to make the jump in. Stun is there. Kill's relatively easy, but PP and Demon, can they make another counter play? They've got a lot of damage onto the Jakiro, but not enough to take him out immediately, so Demon gets turned on. That is the downside of the Pangolier. You go in with the full combo, sure, but if that full combo doesn't kill, what does he do? He just kind of is left standing there with no job.
Yeah, and it's where Benjaz is just such a slow hero. He can't really walk away, but he's TPing back bottom. He wants more fighting. He wants to defend these towers. It's what Viper does best, but this time around, there's not enough gas in the tank to actually take him, but annoying. Not a great Viper game so far. He's going to have his mech sooner than later, but it's still not very fun.
I'm just kind of having to sacrifice himself. He's the guy being traded frequently, but 4-4-1, right? So every time he goes down, something good is happening for either him or his team. Can't really knock it too much here. He's just, as you said, probably not enjoying his time too much. As Adrian going for a hand of Midas build himself. So Midas is on both sides of the aisle here. PP, okay. Trying to get aggressive onto ZXCA. Telekinesis kind of initially interrupts that combo, but he's got the backup. He's got the damage. ZXCA goes down, and Adrian will be very careful here. He doesn't want to give up his farm, but he's down to like a third of his health before any sort of engagement even happens, so eventually has to back away. Drakeel, meanwhile, getting involved. Gonna get cursed up immediately. Global Silence is gonna come into play. Rolling Thunder is just gonna ignore everything on the field and push through for the kill. Jamari, in the meantime, got a lasso onto Kara. Is this a kill he actually finishes, though? Yes, it is. But now he's used everything he's got. Needs to back himself away. The XCA, though, trying to come in for some sort of angle onto Demon. But they're not really locking him down, and Jamari, we just mentioned, used a lot of what he had in the box, so this fight is getting very awkward. But Adrian rejoins the fight. Benjaz just tries to fight inside of his own little circle there, but it's not going to be enough, and PP... PP, do you win this? He's got Swashbuckle, but if he uses it for damage, now he can't leave. And, well, it's not a fight that he wins. Dreamers are able to pull it out. Jamari gets a triple kill despite using all of his abilities at the very start of the fight, and it all works in Dreamers' favor.
They just get outlasted. It just takes too much time. It just ends up being a fight that Parker never looks at either. The Nature's Prophet is just too low. There's a second Wrath of Nature out in that engagement with how long it took, but they're just tapped. They're out of gas in the tank, and they just kept fighting, just kept pushing the issue, and probably should have backed out. And Benjaz is back bottom. I mean, it is just the ever-present and ever-giving team fight in the bottom lane. This tower, to their credit, is staying alive, and it has been buying them a lot of time, still time that is very valuably being given to the Nature's Prophet, but it's just sad they can never get on any of these kills, even though this great toss back from Demon. And Adrian, one more spell. Very nice.
Little close call there as he nearly TPs away, but they get the pick, and well, that is what they needed on the Ravens side. Now, Nature's Prophet farm is effectively free for a little while. That is kind of the concern with both carries going for the Midases, that if they just kind of match each other, you know, blow for blow, how much of an advantage are you really getting? But, well, I mean, I say they both have Midases, but actually looking at their net worth, ET, Parker's miles ahead of the DK at this stage in the game.
Oh, yeah. There's just no farming mechanism for a Dragon Knight. it's why Adrian's going for a Mantis style, as funny as that sounds, because once he
Hmm.
hits level 12, then he gets the splash from the Red Dragon, and then he can send those down the lanes. But you need a Mantis style, and you need level 12 on a Dragon
Oh,
Knight.
Jakeel.
Oh, yeah.
Tossed back under the tower, slowed by the curse. Taken down by PP, and that's just a little too far forward for not having high ground vision.
Yep, that's not even Blink. It's just
Whoa.
Demon as the play, and look at that. Nice BKB, though. Got the lasso regardless.
Parker's not dead yet, though, and at this point, Jamari, yeah, he's got to back off. The toss gets Parker away. Can he TP himself home in time? Yes, he can. Fountain's going to start healing him up, and Jamari is left in the middle of all of that with nowhere to go. He will fall. 555 going to die as well, and it felt like a really nice play at the start. They outsmart him a little bit with the BKB ET, but you still have to kill the Prophet. You still have to have the physical damage to do it, and they don't have it.
No, they were maybe one hero short. Didn't have the Fiend's Gate either, so couldn't make the rotation there from Jakeel. So ends up being a really, really bad play. And now Parker has BKB. He's done. He is ready to now go into these super long, messy team fights. There's really not much for him to be afraid of. It's where I think this next stage of the game is finally going to begin, where you would hope that Dreamers are the ones to actually start it, because they're the one with Dragon Knight. They're the one with Elder Dragon form. They can push very well, but we just haven't seen that confidence. I think also comes from the fact that Drakeel has not gone for the Greaves build. He has been very selfish. He is an Atos, but it's where he's got phase boots, Atos, and that's about it.
He does get himself into the middle lane in time to join this fight, though, as ZXCA goes down first, but Benjaz completely caught inside the Firestorm. So, or for support trade in Dreamer's favor at the moment, but elsewhere on the map, Jamari's got himself in a little trouble again. Parker pops the BKB, avoids the Ice Path stun, but now has to look to TP away. They don't have the damage to kill him, so... Well, initially, you know, Rubik for Viper was looking pretty good, but with the bat getting picked off, is going to go Raven's way. The good news for Dreamers is that the pressure on this tier 1 tower mid was not going to be significant, but Parker's in, and they actually just caught Drakeel. Did not realize that Demon was kind of creeping up on him until it was too late. And while that means they can't finish the tower ET, that's a very valuable kill that they get.
Yeah, and one that might not immediately lead into the tier 1 mid, just because without the Nature's Prophet having BKB, Parker putting himself at risk doesn't feel very nice. Parker's going to just farm. He's going to let his team do what his team does, but he might not want to get involved in it. So that tower will stay alive, but PP has Diffusal. He's got Ag Shard. He's ready to go. He would want another team fight, more picks that lead him into the building perhaps, but he's also okay with just farming. I'm just worried if Dreamers are letting them get away with a little too much farming right now.
Well, on their own side, Adrian is slowly but surely making progress towards that Manta. But, well, you talked about potentially being able to send the illusions down the lane. That's great, but in terms of immediate sort of teamfight strength, gets a little bit more awkward. Sure, he can use the Manta, maybe get himself out of something like the Silence, but it doesn't really do a crazy amount for his straight-up durability. If he is still the one being directly targeted, yeah, he goes down not nearly as quickly as his teammates, ET, but faster than you would be comfortable with.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's just a lot of gold. I mean, even in his quick buy right now, he's got a completed Manta, he's got a Blink Dagger, a Shard, a BKB, and Ags. That's like 24,000 net worth. That's a long ways away here, and I don't know how fast a Midas Manta-style farming splash attack DK farms. Hopefully it's really fast, because you're going to need some help here pretty soon. Toss back mid, your kill's in, Parker's in, and well, this is problematic.
Well, Global Silence will be deployed. Jamari was able to get his BKB off. That does lead him into the lasso, but with Parker's BKB active, there was no burn damage there, and Parker actually cancels his TP. Will he regret that? He just lost his magic immunity. Adrian tries to go in, but now Adrian wishes he were somewhere else, because he gets taken down immediately. Drakeel, though, does buy back and attempt to rejoin the fight. Gets the lockdown in there for Parker, but it's going to come at the cost of his second life, and well, Dreamers clean up something. Get a kill on Dakar here, perhaps, as 555 is going to try to run it down. Oh, the Greaves. This is getting a little bit awkward. Kara's still not dead yet. 555 will die instead. And, well, yeah, they'll cut their losses. EXA is not crazy enough to try and go in and force something, but that means this tower is basically forfeit.
Yeah, the cart will finally sound the falling, the defeat, but sad that Parker made the mistake there in the team fight because he was out and probably would have rejoined, but because he sticks around and has to stick around, he does just right-click everything to death. And because he's getting right-clicked instead of Benjaz, well, the Viper gets to do Viper things and just sit there and become that turret that does magic damage, and it just ends up working out for you. And did not feel the impact there of Adrian TPing in. Feel like he should have just farmed, maybe. He's so close to his Manta, might as well, but the line for Dreamers is just not doing enough for me. Maybe now that Jamari has his Blink Dagger, they can go for this fast and loose pickoff style where they just try to kill a core on the other side of the map and then buy time. Because it feels like we are going to have to go late game with this DK before we really see anything effective out of him. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger. He's got the Manta finally now, but we're in a waiting game still.
Have not seen really much of anything as Drakil's going to get jumped in on. Parker TP's his way forward. He's just standing in the root. He doesn't care. He'll get the kill, and I don't know if you want to complete that TP. Yeah, 555 will cancel it. Jamari, though, just had to activate his BKB to get himself away from the fight, so they know he's not coming back. So they could continue to push. They got the tier 1 already, and rapidly approaching the tier 2. Well, Parker, no, he won't have Nature's Call up again for a little bit, but he wants kills. He TPs behind them. Hits them with the Gleipnir. They don't have the kills just yet, but with PP rolling his way forward, that is very quickly a problem that they will fix, and, well, that's about as perfect as you could get. All that was missing from Parker was the nothing personal kid in the alt chat, but I don't know what Dreamers do now. They're just losing too much momentum, and they're going to lose their bat. He is trying for the lasso, but that was never going to work. Beans Gate. Yeah, Demon. Buddy, I don't know about that, but honestly, it wouldn't have taken him directly into the fountain, looking at the other end, but still not a place you want to be.
Yeah, no, definitely not, and the game plan, it's just rolling. They just keep on going as, a little bit of slam, pee-pee, pee-pee.
Whoops.
So they know they're roshing. I don't think there's going to be a contest, but
No.
still, very funny. And it is getting a little bit close here, but close as in Kara will body block and might have to give up his life, but it could be worse, but still, hysterical. I don't know. PP just dies. Just caught in the crag, you know? Unfortunate. But they still get Roche. 23-minute Roche. Parker is sitting on 4,300 net worth. He is looking for that next big item. Got a Mantis Dog queued up. Don't know if I like that, but we'll see if he changes that item up. Even though, yeah, changes it already. Satanic works still, but still, Ravens keep that game plan rolling, being very efficient with their time, very cleanly getting onto these objectives. Still, they're having a blast right now. Feels like a smoke coming out from the bottom lane, or if not a smoke, just moving in, looking at that mid tier 2 as their next objective.
Yeah, no smoke here. Just gonna.
Oh, Adrian.
Go in, and yeah, that's not where you want to be. TP out. I don't know whose force staff that is, but you tip that man right now. The EXA just pulled his teammate's ass out of the fire. He may pay for this, though. Yeah, he's going to get caught in the Sprout. They should be able to take him out, but... I mean, he saved his teammate's life, but... Can he save Drakil's? Not from the grave. Rubik's already dead. Drakil's going to join him. Yeah, not 100% sure what the Underlord was there for. His teammates had already bailed out, and his ability to defend the tower all by himself is kind of questionable.
Yeah. Has to give it up. And now you just look at Glyph. Glyph that Dreamers are going to have to constantly save, and because they're saving it, well, they're going to lose these towers as bottom, yeah.
They need this kill. Roll-up does not help against Lasso, but there's going to be the Global Silence. Breaking this up a little bit. Can they kill PP? He's really not dying fast. The shield crash reducing so much of the damage, but once it wears off, they do manage to get him.
Yep, very nice. Just caught Ravens playing in all 3 lanes, so easy punish, even though you will lose your outpost, you will lose your final tier 2 tower, but an influx of gold.
They find themselves a little bit of gold on some of their most important heroes, so you'll take the trade. Because they were not mounting in defense of that tier 2 tower. That was not a position that they could easily hold, so works out in their favor. Jamari is going for the Aether Lens here, so has not been happy with his ability, or maybe inability,
No.
to get the initiation. And speaking of initiation, yeah, Adrian, what do you got? Anything at all. He's going to try to survive. They are bringing reinforcements. Drakeel is in. He's going to throw down the pit. Parker, though, I mean, he's got Aegis, so he can afford to just sort of stick in here and fight this one out, trying to bait heroes in. But now, maybe he's baited a little bit too much. Where is his backup? Kara and Benjas are going to make their way over slowly. But at this point, I don't know. Dreamers, do they even want this fight? Drakeel's TPing away. He's going to make it out. Jamari has his TP as well, so this was less a bait ET and just more Aegis and a support lost for nothing.
Yeah, no, pretty horrible. And all of that was just because Adrian simply falling bladed at a tree. Wasn't leashed, walked out of it, got enough range with the Dragon Tail to hit you, and it worked. Easy. I mean, that's quite literally all that happened, as well as Parker going into that fight headlong without having the BKB for another 25 seconds by the time he got into that fight, but very odd. At least they used the Aegis, you know, could be worse, but it doesn't move the needle any further, as Adrian, well, same situation here, but yeah, breaks away. Parker needs to actually kill off these DK illusions, but is also getting closer to that Silver Edge, which is where this matchup probably breaks in the favor of the Nature's Prophet. Then you're probably helpless.
Well, try to TP in there to catch the XCA. A little bit too slow, though, as the Rubik does manage to pull himself out. The Dreamers just trying to buy some time for themselves. BKB now finished on Adrian. A little bit of a buff up there. Of course, the downside of this build, it's coming along slowly but surely, but we're not seeing any direct damage from the Dragon Knight, and probably won't be seeing it for some time with Yag's Scepter queued up next. I mean, if he does get the Yags, he's got the shard as well here, so between Fireball and Black Dragon, damage will come over the course of an entire fight, but it's not direct, I will hit you and you will die right now kind of damage.
No, it's just weirder. It's the easy way to put it. It's just odd. Honestly. At least he has a BKB now, so he's able to team fight, and the smoke does get punished by a nice Manta kind of baiting out, but there's the lasso. Free pick. Demon's gonna go down. Yeah, nothing you can do. ZXCA gets Avalanche as well. It's a huge pickup, but just already pinging out the word. He knows how he died. As Parker looks for Drakeel top, and, well, if there's a pit in between him, he'd have to BKB, but getting a little bit greedy, and the greed will result in Drakeel being able to walk out of this one. Only way he dies now is if PP catches him, and, well...
Stopped to try and farm one camp. His TP is up now in 1 second, but his health is really too low for him to give that a try, and... yeah. I don't know if you outrun PP if he just tried to walk away under his own power, but the fact that he stops for the camp guarantees that he was in the line of fire, as Adrian also in the line of fire. And gets his TP canceled. Didn't BKB. Parker TP's in, drops the Sprout, and, well, Adrian's dead for 50.
Yeah, just that easy. Really is. So stupid that breaks TPs. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, man, what a talent. Still. Like, I know we've seen this for almost a year now, but my lord. And again, back bottom. Benjas, unable to get the D ward. He's waiting for a buddy to come. Demon getting his revenge here. Hopefully he doesn't get lassoed while he's getting his revenge, but that's still on cooldown. And there's a full Silver Edge now finished up there for Parker. So he is a real threat. He is the damage dealer, getting closer and closer to 25 as well. He's got the tome queued up from 30 minutes. I mean, this game is just feeling great right now for Ravens. Streamers are still kind of just waiting for a mistake whenever that high ground push comes. And they've got great high ground. They've got great nukes from their supports. They've got Lasso for the counterplay. They've got the wave push in from Drakeel. They're very annoying to actually finish the game against, but it doesn't take a lot. If they do ever try to get active and get out of their base, well, that punish could be there.
Well, see what the plan is for them going forward. Adrian's back in, still working towards that Aghanim Scepter, so plan overall has not changed for the Dragon Knight, but bit of a decision now to take, or to make rather, if you're Ravens. Do you wait for Roche? Well, I guess realistically speaking, they could wait at least 30 seconds and see just what that timer looks like. Parker, though, says, waiting is for losers. I want to go in now. And, well, maybe waiting isn't for losers after all, because they don't get the kill, and now they have to back off.
Yeah, no, tough play, but still boxing out Dreamers. That's all that's happening. Dreamers have not left the high ground in over a minute. They haven't gone for a smoke either. They kind of know what game they're in for at this point. And that is a long Roche timer, so Ravens aren't going to get their freebie, their free play into that second Aegis, into that easy high ground, at least not for the next few minutes, but this is all just going to be farm time. This is going to be every camp on the map, probably getting farmed up by Ravens here, while Dreamers want to find a play, want to make a play. Honestly, giving Adrian, or even just having Adrian buy a blink there at this point would probably feel okay, but he is so all in for this Black Dragon build.
Jamari, though, does have a blink. He does also have that 2 flame break charge talent, so his damage output takes a little step forward, but they need a target. PP is, oh, excuse me, not PP, Benjaz is going to get pulled in here. The Global Silence, though, does buy enough time, at least for the Rolling Thunder, but it doesn't really actually help the Viper. Benjaz is still going to go down, but now Parker's into the fight. Pops his BKB, gets the Gleipnir. Adrian's locked down, taken out. Drakeel's going to try and TP home, not going to make it. They got to be able to get that kill faster, but the Global Silence is there for that express purpose. Break up the momentum and buy the time for reinforcements to arrive.
Well, and he's also Viper with an Ags.
Yeah.
with the Greaves, you know, and that's really just the worst target they could have broken on. Probably the most ideal would have been PP, but they just don't have enough damage. You need a Silver Edge, you need a break, you need some way to take him out. It's where maybe if you were able to steal the Nether Toxin from the Rubik and then put it down on the Viper, that probably would have been your ideal, but kind of breaks open the game a little bit here, even though Parker's not helping the team at all right now. He's just watching. He is watching his 3 teammates kind of clumsily hit this mid-Rax, even though now he's coming in. That's Hex Reveal. They want to pick, but they're kind of flubbing this a little.
Yeah, that was not ideal. Jamari is limping away, but he's getting out for now. Defensive toss, trying to get him away, and he just refreshed. I thought maybe for a moment they'd look for the... There it is, the lasso play. Pulling PP in. You'll sacrifice 555 for that one every day of the week, and Ravens decide, yeah, okay, we're messing around a little bit too much. Let's pull it back. Let's regain focus and not give up anything else.
Yeah. Finish the Bloodstone on Benjaz. Get the mid-Rax. Get 25 on Parker. You know, he is still a big threat, but it's kind of funny. Wasn't the cleanest Dota I've ever seen for sure, but look at this. Everybody's starting to run into the vision, and Adrian bottom. Well, that's just unfortunate. He doesn't know that he needs to pop his BKB, but here we go. Drakeel running out. He's going to be defensive, and will walk away. No lasso, but still being very defensive. Could look to get back into this fight, though.
They're looking to bring down Demon. They've got some DOT on him. Will it be enough, though? Not with the Eul Scepter. We'll be able to live while Drakeel... Yeah, at that point, there's no real reason for him to stick around. Obviously, he didn't know that, but he will be punished, and he's dead for 55. Parker, meanwhile, immediately goes top. Not to push this lane, just to lay a trap. Never mind, now he'll push the lane.
Yeah. They got a Roche to scout out. He's going to go right into the pit. He's already on his way, and there you go. There's the Roche they were waiting for. He'll slot out his boots pretty seamlessly, just because he's got the TP talent. Who needs walking? It just works.
Yeah,
it really does. But this Roche is so quick. Probably give the Ag Shard over to Benjaz, just to, of course, expedite that pushing progress. Really fantastic Shard. One that, you always feel kind of sour about when it comes to buying it yourself, but you can get it for free, and you'll always pretty much take it. But now we're on a hard limit for Dreamer's actual push. Their high ground defense can be as annoying, as obnoxious as possible, but once you have those stacks of poison on those towers, on those racks, pushing will get accomplished. You can shove your opponents away as much as you can, but as long as either Benjaz or Parker can connect onto a building, it's gonna die.
Of course, Adrian did finally get his hands on that Aghanim Scepter, so you do have the Black Dragon form. Is that enough? I guess that remains to be seen, but it's definitely a power boost here for Dreamers that they desperately need. And you can see with that Ags finished off, they are confident enough to smoke up and push out of their base. The problem is, they're not going to get anything more than vision out of this, because their opponents are clear on the other side and actually pushing up onto their high ground.
No, they're coming. They're knocking on the door. And yeah, you see the flood. They're nice smoke towards top to get a little bit of vision, and nice vision that was able to get placed before they got forced back. This may be a smoke attempt later, but here we go. In. Parker already killed someone.
Yep, 555 down for the count already. Adrian dead as well. That's 2 dead with no buyback, and without Adrian... What, did he? No, he didn't. Okay, well, Jamari's going to try to make something happen here, but the lasso's canceled immediately by Lasso... Or Lasso's canceled by Global Silence, excuse me. But either way, Dreamers are getting pushed back. Drakil's BKB is going to run out of time. I don't know if there's a defense to be mounted anymore. As Parker says, let me at him. He's going to push his way forward. Buyback from the Jakiro, but Parker goes in. Fountain is not a concern. Picks up 2 kills. Will die the first time around. No, he won't. The Satanic healed him up quite nicely, as he will finish the triple kill, but can anyone actually kill him here? ZXCA tried to buy back to get him, but Tiny blinks in, tosses his teammate away. They're just kind of taking a victory lap at this point, but ET... The saddest thing about all of this, Dreamers waited all that time. All the time that they bought. Holding out, hanging out in their base, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until this Aghanim Scepter was finally finished, and Adrian died before he could even pop the ult in the first place.
He's
Parker,
just going to keep on buying mantles. He's just going to keep on buying mantles. He wants you to GG, but you're not GGing, so now he'll have to kill your tier 4s, but the line has been drawn. A line in the sand. Parker says, come. You won't. Pick DK carry versus me.
Yeah, well, they're just not going to call it at this point, but the end is here. Adrian does finally get to use that Aghanim Scepter, but at this point, it is far, far too late, and... Well... This is why, not only is DK carry not a thing, DK in general not really a thing anymore, and...
They're trying to get him in the fountain.
Yeah, they're going to give it a go. They do refresh, they get a second lasso in, but it's not enough. Parker is not pulled into the fountain. He's going to drop the Gleipnir. Adrian will die one last time, and... Still no GG. There it is. Okay. Dreamers eventually will concede defeat, and Ravens... Well, they get the win. Things get a little clowny at the end, ET, but they take game 1.
And just the rain of mantles coming down. He had more mantles in his stash as well, but yeah. Just too much. Too conventional. Too many just straight up powerful heroes there for Ravens. And Dreamers did not play on those conventions. They had great high ground. And that's where the draft ideas kind of begin and end. They were able to sit up and maybe wait for a Ravens mistake, but they didn't win the carry matchup. They didn't win the mid matchup. They did bully Benjaz, and they did a pretty fine job early on, but eventually, he's just a Viper. As long as he has a tower to sit behind, he's got a job. He's got a home. He's got a place to play. I don't even know if they got the mid-tier 1 at the end of the day, because there's just so much time focused elsewhere on the map. And the entire time, Parker's just farming. He's just getting incredibly huge on this Nature's Prophet. Gets away with the build, just ends up being the most impactful hero on his team. And then he wins. Simple as that. And we never get to see Adrian at full power. We didn't get to that 24k net worth mark that, kind of hollowly said way back in, 15, 20 minutes into the game, but it doesn't happen.
It just felt really weird from Dreamers to take this position 1 DK, and as you were repeatedly sort of checking back in on all the money that he needed to even have a chance of being a carry that matched up to the Prophet, but they didn't commit too much to try and help his lane outside of that initial tri-lane setup that got the kills. They didn't really have anyone there to help protect him in the jungle. They didn't really get him involved in any ganks because he was jungling. It felt like the entire lineup revolved around the DK, but they didn't go out of their way to try and set him up. They just kind of threw him out there and said, okay, Adrian, you're on your own.
Yeah, pretty much. And well, we'll have to see because already in that next lobby, ZXCA's chosen second pick. So fingers crossed we get a little bit more of a definitive maybe draft advantage here as Dreamer is kind of squirming in their seats a little bit. They don't want to get knocked down. They don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
closer towards those few teams to get eliminated while Ravens are looking to just surge ahead.
Yeah, they came in today. Dreamers did, thinking they're relatively safe. That may not be the case by the time we're done here, but we'll see what game two has in store. Because a 1-1 draw still keeps Dreamers largely in that same position. So, one last game for the night here. Game number two between Ravens and Dreamers coming your way in just about 10 minutes. So, stick around, and we'll be right back.